Welcome to Business Networking and Referrals. I'm Faithann, founder of the Networker's Tour Guide. I believe every networking conversation holds an opportunity. You just have to know how to recognize it and create more of them. That's what this podcast is all about. Let's get started. This week is another solo episode, and we're going to do a deep dive into the difference between your sales discovery calls and your one-to-ones. We're going to start with what is the purpose of each. We'll move on to who to invite to each, when to invite to each, and then the problems that you may be experiencing with each. Let's talk about our one-to-ones first. When I first started networking, the one-to-one meeting was one of the first things I learned about. It wasn't until quite a few years later that I even learned about sales calls or discovery calls or a specific sales conversation. And it did help that I was in the trades. So the first business that I networked on behalf of was a business in the trades. And a lot of times those customers or clients, they just want an estimate. There really isn't a lot of fancy footwork that goes into someone learning about you, learning what you do, deciding that they might want to hire you, asking for an estimate, and then yes or no to the estimate. It's really been in my work in the Networker's Tour Guide that I've learned more about having discovery calls, letting people have a little bit of more information about how your solution could really help them. It's through the Networker's Tour Guide that I've learned that. And then through my network, people telling me different stories and things, I've learned that there is a clear difference between the two. And when you think you're going to one and it's not, you think you're having a one-to-one, but really the other person views it as something different, there can be some friction there. There can be some lost rapport. And that's why I chose this topic for this episode, is to really explain the difference, to make sure that in your referral process, in your networking, in your sales process, you're being very clear when you're making the invitations to one or the other so that the person knows exactly what they're getting into. And then there'll be some advice to when you're being invited to something and you're not comfortable with how you're seeing that it's going to go. What can you do then? Let's talk about the one-to-one first. What's the purpose of a one-to-one when you network? The purpose of a one-to-one, and a one-to-one is a lunch or coffee or some kind of phone call, Zoom call. It's a meeting with another business owner, just that business owner. That's why they call it a one-to-one. The purpose of a one-to-one meeting is to learn from that business owner more about their business and what makes a good referral for them, and to shed some light on what makes a good referral for you. One-to-ones are vital to grow your network. People have to be invited to dine with you or have a quick cup of coffee with you, or a phone call or a video call, a Zoom call with you, without feeling like they're obligating themselves to anything but just merely learning about you. This is one of the best ways to grow your network, is to have one-to-ones with other business owners and let you each come to that coffee, that one-to-one, with open curiosity. It's so important. This is why we don't pull out our laptop and our sales deck and our deep presentations in a one-to-one. We may show them our website if they seem interested. Like, I'm not saying you can't show them anything. You can bring brochures, things like that. But anything we show them should be the purpose of helping them understand our business, not the purpose of asking them if they're ready to hire us or if they want an estimate. So I have shown people at one-to-ones. I've shown my online platform, Premium OKC Networking, and I purposely keep it brief. I mean, 10 minutes. because I want the focus to be on what makes a good referral for you. And then here's what makes a good referral for me. So I do, if they seem open, I might show them the platform for the purpose of them listening for referrals for me and having a little bit of understanding of what premium OKC networking is. It's an easy way to let those people, those other business owners, get their minds wrapped around what it is if I show them. And that's what I do. I just show it to them. I don't ask them if they want to be a member unless they give me some kind of buying signal. I don't ask them. I just say, here's a good way to know what a good referral for me is somebody who might enjoy having all the networking meetings in Oklahoma City on one calendar where they don't have to open up 8 tabs, and they might benefit from all the courses that are inside. And that's it. And we want to ask good questions at our one-to-ones. We want to show that person that we're a safe conversation to have. We want to show them that we're interested in their business. We have to be interested in other people's businesses, or we will never get anywhere when we network. That's a one-to-one. That's the purpose, to understand what makes a good referral for another person and to shed some light on what makes a good referral for you. We only know a shadow of what others do. We don't know what they do. So this is a great way to learn what they do. This is also a great way. The one-to-one meeting is a wonderful way for those business owners to learn in real time what it might be like for their referrals. So do you show up on time? If you're going to show up on time for the one-to-one, means that if any referrals they send you, you're more than likely going to show up on time for those too. Were you easy to schedule with? I don't know if that's the right way to say that, but be easy to work with. Let them learn. Oh, we didn't cancel. This one-to-one didn't have to stop and start 8 different times before we finally found a time we could meet. Be easy to work with. Show up on time. Communicate well. If you're the one who picks the restaurant or the coffee place, make sure you're very, very, very clear on where are they going to have to pay to park? Is it cold in the restaurant? Do they need to bring a sweater? Is there anything hard to navigate? Is there construction? Should they go a different route than what you think their Google Maps is going to show them? All of these things teach those business owners that we are easy to work with, we're a safe conversation to have, and then surprise and delight them by being truly, genuinely interested in their business, seeking to understand if you were standing in the middle of a referral for them, what would those people be doing or saying? How can I send you a referral? What do you typically like? Do you like email? Do you like text? What is not a good referral for you? What are you most proud of? How do you think you've changed since you started your business? All of those are wonderful questions. You can also create curiosity about your own business. Tell client stories. Tell the story of a referral you have received. And the reason why we do that is so that they can put themselves in the place of that other person who has sent you a referral and walk that journey as you tell it. Oh, so Faithann took care of her last client this way. It came through a referral. This is what she did. This is how quickly she followed up with the person who sent her the referral. Oh, she thanked the person who sent her the referral. Oh, she did a good job for the person that the referral came from. Okay, so if I want to send Faithann a referral, it's likely going to go the same way. And the only way they know that is you have to tell that story. Now, they may get a testimonial from some other person, and that's fine. But what if they don't? You're right there. Tell the story of a referral you have received and what you did to make it a delightful experience. And that will help them take the risk of sending you a referral. Ask them as many questions as they are asking you. Okay, one-to-one. That's what that's for. Now, your discovery call or your showcase of a product or a service. The purpose of this kind of meeting is to decide if you have a solution for their problem and to get permission to put the offer in front of them. This comes from my sales coach, Nikki Rausch, who was a guest on 2 prior episodes of this podcast, one about buying signals and the other one about creating curiosity. So the purpose of your sales call, your discovery call, your show and tell of whatever it is you have to show and tell is that it's, do I have a solution? And the way you find out is you ask them questions, and do I have permission to put this offer in front of them? A really great book to read to get good at this at your discovery call is The Selling Staircase by Nikki Rausch. So because this is such a different kind of call, you could see how if someone's thinking they're going to a one-to-one and the other person's thinking, I just got a great lead, I'm going to go to this call or this coffee and I'm going to figure out if they want to hire me, you can see the disconnect there. And it's very big and it is rapport breaking. So to err on the side of caution for you as the one who's doing the inviting, if you haven't received a buying signal, invite them to a one-to-one. That's going to keep you pretty safe. Then if they start asking very pointed questions, you can ask them, is this something that you'd like to learn more about? And see what they say. Both a discovery call and a one-to-one, they're both very important because we want people to move to the next step with us when they seem interested in what it would be like to work with us. So we want those calls. We just need to go into these calls knowing what is the goal here. So here's how you can protect yourself. Start with your one-to-ones first. This is really important too. If you've joined a weekly group, if you've joined some kind of networking group, then you need to be having one-to-ones with them. Those go together. I'm part of a networking group. I need to have one-to-ones. And then listen for people to be interested in working with you specifically. And then you want to invite them to a discovery call or a sales call, or you may want to send them an estimate if they're asking, how much would you charge to paint my house? Well, it ranges from this amount to this amount. Would you like to get an estimate started today? And then if they call you back and they have questions about the estimate, you're in sales. You're trying to determine if you have a solution that they need and do you have permission to put the offer in front of them. And if they're asking for an estimate, you definitely have permission. Do both. I think your one-to-ones, you can have very regularly, have these one-to-one meetings. Your sales and discovery calls, there needs to be some kind of specific targeted interest in what you're doing in working with you before you invite them to those kinds of calls. I think I've already kind of covered when to invite. So when to invite to a one-to-one, pretty soon. When you start a networking, you commit to a networking group, start scheduling those one-to-ones. When you go to conferences, schedule one-to-ones with people at the conferences. When you go to larger events, find a few people to schedule a one-to-one with. So the one-to-ones are just continually happening. You're building the relationships, and you're going to need to be a person who sends referrals to people or tries. That's an important component of growing your business through referrals, is sending people referrals. And it's hard to really know how to send somebody a referral fully if you don't ever talk to them by themselves. I do talk a lot about your 60-second introduction or pitch. Paint a picture of what makes a good referral for you, and you should do that. The one-to-ones just make that picture all the more clear. And then you're going to start hearing and seeing opportunities for other people the more you get to know them. When you invite people on a discovery call is when they've shown some targeted interest in what you provide, your product, your service. So who to invite kind of goes into the same category. Who you should be inviting to one-to-ones are the people in your network, so that you can build a relationship with them, so that you can introduce them to other people in your network that they don't know yet, so that you can start to talk about them in rooms they're not in. You build cheerleaders, you build fans, you build supporters, you build loyalty among your network because they appreciate how much you're interested in their business. They can see you rooting for them. They can see you trying to help them in their business specifically, because so often as business owners, we get this feeling that everyone wants to take, take, take. It's wonderful to have a network that genuinely shows that they want to give. And one of the ways you can do that is your one-to-ones. Invite those people to coffee and make them feel good. Ask them what they're most proud of. Just doing that, for a lot of us, that will make you stand out. Yeah, it'll make you stand out, and it'll be appreciated. So here's what you can do if you get the sense that someone has invited you to a one-to-one, but you really kind of think it's a sales call. So one person, a client, asked me this. She was invited to a one-to-one, but the person who asked wanted her to bring other people there to the meeting, other people in her company. And she was not knowing really how to handle that. And I said, well, I think you should tell the person that you're not ready to bring other people to the one-to-one. And the purpose of a one-to-one is for, like she would say this in an email to the person, the purpose of our one-to-one is for us to discover what makes good referrals for each other. So knowing this, do you still want to have your one-to-one? So it was just a reminder, a gentle reminder that the purpose of a one-to-one is so that you can get to know me and my business, understand what makes a good referral for me, and so that I can do the same for you. And then if it actually happens at a one-to-one where someone pulls out a laptop with a bunch of slides and oh, I see, this is how this is going, I think you give them a little bit of grace and you let them show their slide deck maybe 20, 25 minutes. And then at some point you have to just say, thank you. You may even just have to interrupt them and say, thank you for sharing about your business. And is it okay if I share a little bit about what would make a good referral for me? Like, I know that's going to be, for some of us, that's going to be really hard to do. Get that muscle now, like develop that habit now, because after the first time you do it and the world is still spinning on its axis and you're still a human body, you haven't burned up and disintegrated into the air, you'll think, oh, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Let their answer guide you into further communication or further involvement. So if they're gracious and they say, oh, sure, and they have to quickly calibrate, they're in their mind, they're going to have to very quickly change direction. And if they'll do that and suffer the disappointment graciously and go along with you, if they will do that, then there is hope there for future relationship. Let them have a pass and continue to be kind and warm and generous. If you interrupt them and ask if you might be able to share about your business and they do not accept that graciously, then that's your clue that you have met someone that you don't want to continue to invest your time in. Networking is creating opportunities for others so that you have standing to ask for opportunities from those people when you need them. And opportunities could be just merely, hey, will you share this Facebook post? Would you be willing to listen for a referral for me? It requires a willingness to give on both sides. So if someone is not willing to learn about you after they've invited you to a one-to-one and called it a one-to-one, then you're going to have to move on. I would love a comment on this episode. If you're listening on Spotify, leave me a comment. What do you think? Have you ever had a one-to-one and you got there and it was just a bad experience because the person wasn't really transparent about the one-to-one and they started pitching to you. Have you had that happen to you? Have you had a weird invitation to a one-to-one before you even got there and you got the feeling like, "Oh, I don't think this is a one-to-one. I think this is just a sales pitch opportunity for the other person?" Let me know. Leave a comment in this episode. I would love to hear what you guys think. And I appreciate you listening to this episode. I appreciate all the support that you all are giving me. And I would love to hear what you think of the podcast and what you have experienced when it comes to your one-to-ones. Go and network. I'm rooting for you.